Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This morning I'm going to give a first look at the products I bought from the latest launch from Estée Lauder, which is a collaboration with Victoria Beckham. It's had quite a lot of publicity in the beauty press here in the UK, I've no doubt also in the States. It's quite a big range, and although several of the articles I've read or videos I've seen online have talked about this being revolutionary and the first time that Estée Lauder have collaborated officially with a dress designer slash model, those of us with even medium-term memories know that's absolutely not true, because back in the day there was a specific Tom Ford collaboration with Estée Lauder, i.e. There was a run of products, I think for several seasons, if I remember correctly, of Tom Ford by Estée Lauder before he launched his own line, although it is of course owned by Estée Lauder. So I guess we're kind of talking semantics, but I suspect, knowing Victoria Beckham's ambitions and abilities in this area, this is the kind of precursor, the tryout to a full-time Victoria Beckham range. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So as I say, it's quite a big range. At the moment, so far as I'm aware, it's exclusively at Selfridges in London, but I'm sure it will be rolled out elsewhere. I looked at it and bought on this Thursday, which was a few days after the launch. The stands were looking a bit tatty and plundered. A lot of people have obviously been trying the products, and there were makeup artists to make you up if you wanted. But there didn't seem to be much problem with the stock, so I don't think there's a huge rush, although undoubtedly it is selling quite well. So I bought 3 items, which I guess I will show you first, talking about what else is available. It's high priced, it's Tom Ford pricing, was my immediate reaction. And having said that, when I've kind of looked at things a bit more online and done comparisons, you might think it's actually a bit more expensive than Tom Ford. Just going to take a swig of coffee. My voice is still a bit croaky after this wretched cold. So, the first item I bought, and the packaging I'll be talking about quite a lot, is very beautiful. This is basically a moisturiser primer called the Morning Aura Illuminating Cream. And this is 1.6 fluid ounces. So, keep that in mind. And it's said of the product, it's a moisturiser plus primer in one. Apply any time to wake up your look in the morning. Wear it alone or under makeup as a luminous primer. Use it midday to refresh and brighten your look. So a kind of all-purpose primer. I've worn it twice. So I wore it yesterday without makeup on top, and the day before as a primer underneath my makeup before I went out. It's a nice product. It's not fragranced. There you go, fairly standard, just beautiful packaging, which I think is part of the price. Doesn't give a particularly obvious, I mean, it gives a sheen, but it's not too in your face. I don't think it shows under makeup is the first point. And because I was wearing it in the evening, although it was a long evening, I wasn't able to form a fantastic impression of whether it made my makeup last better as a primer. It didn't conceal my pores as well as my new favourite, the Tom Ford, but it did improve their appearance. So as a primer, it was decent, but probably not. I believe this is £68. Yeah, £68 for that 1.6 fluid ounces. Now, it did strike me that it was very similar to the Tom Ford Illuminating Primer. I've only got this in a small size at the moment. I have had it. This is not the one I'm raving about. There's a special edition this summer, which I think's been fabulous for concealing pores. I would say the Tom Ford perhaps is a bit more liquid, but it looks identical on the skin. Smells exactly the same, i.e. fairly fragrance-free. I haven't got a list of the ingredients because I haven't got a full package for this, and I've been too lazy to look it up online. But the Tom Ford one is, I think, quite a bit cheaper. About £10 cheaper, to be precise, and it's expensive enough on its own. I couldn't really tell the difference, and given both are Estee Lauder, you have to be careful what you say, but I have my suspicions. I know the Tom Ford one has a sunscreen in it, and I'm not sure the Victoria does. Now here's another interesting thing. Here is good old MAC strobe cream. I've put too much on there. Now I think probably somewhat sheenier, but very, very similar, and feels again absolutely identical. Now strobe cream isn't supposed to be a primer, but I'm fairly dubious that this Victoria Beckham one, because of the consistency, is any more a primer than strobe cream is. And I would say if you're looking for a fairly obvious sheen, strobe cream probably has it a bit more than the Victoria Beckham, and is much less expensive. And then my hero product is the Becca Skin Perfector, Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is in Pearl, which does have a high SPF, and I wear it under makeup as a primer, and you can see there gives a much more obvious sheen, although bear in mind this is the kind of white coloured one, the Pearl. There are other colours, opal in particular, which I think would probably come off much more similar to the Victoria Beckham one. Now the Shimmering Skin Perfector I don't think portrays itself much as a treatment, although it does say it's moisturising, and it does have a high SPF, so you could say in some ways is rather better for your skin than whatever is in this. And it definitely packs a huge illuminating punch, whether you wear it on its own or under makeup. You can... That's the one that I will wear under makeup if I still want to kind of promote a dewiness, or I'll just mix it with my foundation. So that's a kind of fairly lengthy comparison, because this is, although I like it, it's very pleasant, feels very pleasant on the skin, and does give a nice gentle glow, certainly not enough to show through your makeup. It is fiendishly expensive, nearly £70 for that. And I question how different it is to certainly the other products in the Estee Lauder range, specifically the Tom Ford, or the much cheaper MAC Strobe Cream, which would come in at the cheapest of the products I've shown you, or my personal favourite, which is the Becca. But of course, this one's going to look glorious on your dressing table. I think because this video is getting quite long, I'm going to run through some of the products that I haven't got and then finish off and show you these two items separately. So there is a bronzer in the collection, which will be very popular if you like a reasonably heavy bronzer. It's £48. It's beautifully packaged in a similar packaging to this, which we'll look at in more detail in my next video. It was a bit too reddish toned, orangey toned for me, although not as bad as I was expecting, to be honest, given the tone that Victoria Beckham herself likes to wear. So they obviously have tried to make it kind of medium toned in the range, and reasonably wearable, but it was a bit too much for me, so I didn't get that, but it's certainly worth looking at. There was a beautiful kohl pencil, a double-ended pencil, in fact, with black at one end and gold at the other. I did try it. I was quite tempted. Fabulously soft, a little too soft on the black end for me, so I didn't get it. But it was very nice quality indeed. There is a lip gloss, which I don't think I even tried or looked at, and two lipsticks, which were very interesting. One was the typical Victoria Beckham colour that I would expect, i.e. a nude, and it was a fairly coffee or beige nude, exactly the sort of lip colour that you see her wearing. And then there was a very bright, medium bright, medium toned bright red, which stood out to me like a beacon in the collection because it is so not something Victoria Beckham would wear. I've never seen her wear colour on her lips, certainly not red, certainly since the Spice Girl days. So it did strike me as an anachronism that was being pushed in this collection, and an indication that this is really not as much about a collaboration, about her look, certainly. Now, having said that, and being a bit derogatory about it, I went to an event after looking at the products on the stand, not a Victoria Beckham event, and two people who I spoke to who had startlingly nice lipstick on their lips and looked really good, when I asked them about it, were wearing that lipstick that they'd just bought. So it does look amazing on fair to medium blue-eyed people, fair to medium skin tone, blue-eyed. It's a beautiful, beautifully pitched red. I didn't get it because I've just bought so much red at the moment. So no justification for that. So worth looking at if you're in the market for the red. I'm going to talk probably about eye items in a bit more detail in the next video, because there are individual palettes. There are two what are called eye foils, which were very watery but extremely glittery liquid eyeshadows. I wasn't sure whether they were meant to be used as a liner. I suspect not, because they had foam Dauphin type applicators, which would be too thick to line with. But the black one certainly was a very, very dark colour that I couldn't imagine washing over the whole of the lid, but maybe. And the other one was a kind of, it looked nude on the Dauphin, but when you put it on, it was just a complete glitter fest. I didn't like either of those, and I wasn't entirely sure what to do with them. There was a lip pencil, yeah, and then the highlighter that I've got, the eye palettes that I've got that I'm going to show you separately, and some individual eyeshadows. So just to make uploading a bit easier, I'm going to sign off on this one, having shown you the Morning Aura in detail, and we'll have a look at the star product to me, which is the highlighter and the eye palette, in the next video. See you in a moment. Bye for now.